Few symbols are as instantly recognizable as the white flag. Across movies, history books, and real battlefields, a simple piece of white cloth has come to mean one thing above all else: surrender. It carries no weapons, makes no sound, and has no force behind it, yet it can stop fighting more effectively than many commands. But why white? Why did this particular color become the universal sign of giving up, negotiating, or asking for mercy? The answer lies in practicality, psychology, and centuries of human conflict, right here on History of Simple Things. The most basic reason the white flag became associated with surrender is visibility. In battle, confusion is everywhere. Smoke, dust, noise, and distance make communication difficult. Any signal meant to stop combat needed to be clear and easy to recognize from far away. White stands out in many environments. Against dark uniforms, muddy fields, forests, or clouds of smoke, a white cloth is hard to miss. It catches attention quickly and does not resemble most military banners, which were usually colorful, decorated, or marked with symbols of power. A plain white cloth looked different enough to suggest that it was not a threat. Because battles often depended on split-second decisions, simplicity mattered. Soldiers needed to understand the message immediately. A raised white cloth could be recognized faster than shouted words or complicated gestures. Colors carry meaning, and white has long been linked with ideas such as peace, purity, honesty, and neutrality in many cultures. While those meanings are not universal everywhere, they became common enough in many societies to influence how the symbol was understood. War is often represented by dark smoke, blood, fire, and chaos. White creates a visual contrast to all of that. It appears calm where everything else is violent. It suggests emptiness rather than aggression, a pause rather than an attack. There is also something symbolic about an unmarked white cloth. Unlike a royal banner or military standard, it carries no emblem, no claim, and no identity beyond the message itself. It says that the usual signs of power have been set aside, at least for a moment. That made white especially useful not only for surrender, but also for requesting talks, exchanging prisoners, or recovering the wounded. The use of white as a signal of surrender goes back much farther than modern warfare. Historians often point to ancient China and ancient Rome as early examples. In Chinese history, records suggest defeated armies sometimes used white banners to indicate submission or the desire to stop fighting. In Rome, writers describe soldiers raising white cloths or branches when seeking mercy. These examples were not always identical to the modern white flag, but they show the same basic idea, a visible sign that combat should pause. Importantly, these societies developed such signals independently or under very different circumstances. That suggests the idea was practical enough to emerge more than once. When people needed a fast way to communicate peaceful intent during battle, a plain visible object naturally made sense. Over time, repeated use turned practicality into tradition. Once enough armies understood the meaning, the symbol became stronger and more reliable. As warfare became more organized, so did the rules around it. During the early modern period, and especially in the 18th and 19th centuries, European armies increasingly treated the white flag as an accepted signal for truce or surrender. Military manuals began describing how it should be recognized. Diplomacy and formal warfare required methods for communication between enemies, and the white flag fit that need perfectly. It could be improvised from almost any cloth and did not require literacy or translation. Later, international law helped formalize its meaning. Under the laws of war, someone approaching under a white flag is generally considered to be requesting communication. They are not automatically surrendered, nor are they guaranteed any demand will be accepted, but they are signaling peaceful intent. This legal recognition was important because it transformed custom into expectation. Even enemies with no shared language could understand the same message. Many people assume a white flag only means total defeat, but its meaning is wider than that. It can signal surrender, request a truce, open negotiations, or allow the wounded and dead to be recovered. In sieges or desperate battles, it was often used to discuss terms rather than immediately give up. In many cases, it served as a practical tool to save lives when continuing the fight offered no real advantage. That wider purpose is one reason the symbol lasted so long. It was not just about losing, it was also a way to reduce unnecessary bloodshed when fighting no longer made sense. Even in an age of radios, drones, and advanced technology, the white flag still matters because it is simple and universal. It does not need translation, power, or equipment. A piece of white cloth can still communicate peaceful intent almost anywhere. Its continued use proves that some of the most effective forms of communication are also the simplest. Its meaning has also spread beyond war. In everyday life, raising the white flag means admitting defeat, asking for help, or choosing to stop a struggle. That lasting image shows how powerful a simple symbol can be. The white flag became the sign of surrender for a simple but powerful reason. It worked. It was visible in chaos, easy to recognize, and free of threatening meaning. Over centuries, repeated use in wars and negotiations turned it into a shared language understood across nations. What began as a practical signal became one of humanity's most enduring symbols. In the middle of conflict, a plain white cloth came to represent the possibility of stopping it. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.